Are you interested in taking the WSET Level 2? Well, I'm here to share some of my experience. So I just finished up my WSET Level 2 here in Chicago with the company called Fine Vintage. That is a national company. They have classes all over. And let me just start off by saying I loved it. I would absolutely recommend it to anybody who just has a passion and interest for learning more about wine, different grape varieties, the wine regions, how the wine making, how it differs, why climate and terroir change the way that wine works. I know it's nerdy. It definitely, if you're not a nerd about wine and you just like drinking wine, perfect. Just love drinking wine. That is no problem at all, and more power to you. I'm a nerd, so I wanted to dive in and learn as much as I can about wine, and I'm also trying to figure out where I might have a place in the wine industry. So I thought, dive right in, start learning my theory, and I might start to see where I would want to be. One of the amazing things about taking these classes is the teachers that you get to interact with that have just such a wealth of knowledge. In my class, my teachers were Rachel Driver and Dan Pilkey. They're amazing. Rachel works for Maverick Wine Company, which is a sales and distribution company. And then Dan works for Paul Hobbs. Dan, I think, also passed his Master Sommelier exam, so very top tier people here. We were able to get so much more out of a class than just reading a book because of the stories and this personal aspect that each of these teachers bring into the classroom. In preparation for the class, I read through the workbook a couple of times, as well as I made some flashcards so I could start really diving into learning these regions and the grape and the characteristics, because that stuff is just not natural for me. Memorization is just really hard for me. So the way the course is set up is you have 3 days of class. Each day is from 9:30 till 5:30, right around there. And each day we're tasting 15 different wines throughout the day as we are talking about those different characteristics. So we're tasting the differences of Chardonnay made in California versus Chablis, the differences in the climate and the different styles of winemaking. So then we could start to really understand them in our brain, because we're not just reading about them, we're not just talking about them, I'm not just watching a video on them, I'm also experiencing those, so that then maybe I will be able to hold on to that context and that information even more. The variety of wines we were able to taste, again, in person was just unbelievable. From wines that ranged down from like $6 to $160, literally. It was nuts. Most of the wines were around the $30 to $60 range, and we got to try, again, 15 different wines every day. It was nuts. It was awesome. So the first day we learned a lot about winemaking, and we started getting into the different regions. And after the first day, I honestly felt pretty good. Again, I have a background in a little bit of winemaking. Again, I'm no winemaker, but I do have a little bit of experience with that, so I feel like I was able to understand that quickly. And then day 2 came around, where we started really diving into all the major regions and major grape varieties. And that's where things got a little overwhelming for me, no joke. After the first day, I was beaming. I was like, this is amazing, this is so exciting, blah, blah, blah. Here's a video I recorded after the first day. Hey, day 1 is over. It was fantastic. I just love learning about this stuff. Like, all day I was just like, I'm in the right place. This is where I want to be. I want to continue to be learning about this, making content in this space, just seeing how I could provide value to others in this industry. They're just awesome. There's no pretentiousness. We learned a lot about tasting wine and about wine making, mostly just tasting wine and about what that means to be a quality wine. We got to taste really good wine next to really crappy wines. We had a really good Zinfandel next to a bad Zinfandel. And then just other aspects too, a nice dry Riesling next to a sweet Riesling. And we did all of this blind as well, so it was just really fun to explore those things without preconceived understanding of what they're supposed to be together as a group. And in that group setting, it helped us evaluate it more. Oh, do you taste this? And they're like, yeah, okay, got it. Oh, that's what that characteristic is. Got it. That's petrol in the Riesling that I was tasting and smelling. Literally 2 weeks ago, I was tasting Riesling, and I was like, what is that? It's this distinct craziness, and I was like, I don't know what I think about this. And as it kind of mellowed out, I was totally fine with it. And then today I was smelled it, I was like, I know that. That's Riesling. I know that's Riesling, but not all Rieslings have that. So I was learning about that. Anyways, it was a lot of fun. day 1. I'm loving it. Can't wait to jump into day 2 and day 3. After the second day, I didn't feel like recording one of those videos because I was pretty overwhelmed, to be honest. I was excited, but I definitely was like, okay, great. In the next 2 weeks, I have a lot of studying to do because I want to know this information. I don't just want to pass the test. Then in that 2-week break before our last class, I studied up, I made my flashcards, and I felt pretty good going into the third class. Third class, we dived in, we did sparkling wine, fortified wine, and some other major varieties we haven't touched on yet. And then we took the test. And I think I did really well, actually. There was 12 questions I marked that I didn't know the answers out of 50. And you only need, I think it's a 58% on the test to pass. So I will hear back, they say 8 to 10 weeks because they have to literally ship the Scantrons to London where Wine Spirits Education Trust, WSET, is located in London. And then we'll hear back and I'll get a little lapel pin. It'll be super cool. It was amazing. I loved my teachers. I cannot wait to connect with them more. I'm really looking forward to finding a date so I can continue on to my level 3. But I need to make sure I have enough time for preparation for that because I know it's gonna take even longer to study. I recommend this to anybody who's really interested in diving deep into wine. It was so much fun. I'm also a nerd. I like school, but I'm bad at test taking and I'm bad at memorization, but it's weird because I like school, because I like learning. So this is totally up my alley, and I think it's really starting to help me find and get connected to people so that I can start to understand, is the wine industry a place where I can have a career? Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, if you have any questions about WSET, Wine Spirits Education Trust, feel free to ask. I'm by no means an expert, but I've started on my journey and I would love to help you along the way. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit like. Again, comment any questions you have or comments you have. I would love to hear about it. I would love to hear from you. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you want to keep up with my humble journey to wine literacy. I'm just a normal guy trying to love wine a little bit more each day and just help others so that they don't feel overwhelmed about wine and they can also love it as much as I do. Guys, don't let the pretentiousness and all that in the wine industry scare you away. Wine is delicious. Enjoy it how you like it. And that's all that matters. Cheers.